Hi everybody, welcome to Gunpla TV.
Hey guys.
Brought to you by HobbyLink Japan. This is episode 159, if I recall correctly. 159, and let's see, I got a little naked Hainu here. He's got nothing on.
Where's his clothes?
Oh, we'll talk about him in a bit. What I want to mention before we get into everything in this show is the perfect grade unicorn. We have some more information.
It's available.
First thing, is it's available on our site again. Looks
for pre-order.
For pre-order. Looks like we will be able to get enough. LEDs we're still not sure of for the reasons that I explained last time. And also we know the release date. Bandai has something up on their site with the official...
So this is the Bandai announcement.
This is Bandai's announcement.
It's possible Bandai might change it as they've done before, but...
It hasn't recently with the big kids. Yeah. They have down December the 13th as the official release date of the perfect grade unicorn.
So we should get delivery around that time.
Yeah.
But it will take us a few days to get through what needs to be done.
Yeah, so we could have a live stream maybe around the 13th. The 13th being Saturday, it could happen on a Friday. We'll try and keep you guys updated when we know.
Absolutely.
Facebook and all that stuff. Okay, now Ryan, last episode I showed my Sasabi, the water slide decals. I got lots of comments from everybody. Thank you very much. Yeah. And I did mention that I wanted to get those decals and everything on the Sasabi out of the way so we could tackle the Hainu Ver.Ka. And here he is. And you can see he does not have any fin funnels. And that's because in this episode we're going to talk about the fin funnels and specifically how to put those water slide decals on. Because people have been asking.
For everyone who's been asking about water slides, now's your chance.
Yeah, see here's the fin funnels in the manual. And here's kind of the instructions on how to put them on. And you can see that it's not just one or two decals. There's 3 decals plus the red ones if you count them, like 5. So what I'm going to show you is how I would tackle the fin funnel decals, and you guys hopefully can take something from that and try it on your own if you're struggling, or if you have not done it before and you want to try. So today on Gunpla TV we're doing the Hainu Ver.Ka fin funnel water slide decal tutorial. Alright, so the water slides for the fin funnels and the Hainu Gundam Ver.Ka. Now a lot of people have asked about these, requesting kind of advice. We did do a water slide decal tutorial way back when. It must be a couple years ago now, and you'll have to forgive me because I don't remember which episode it is. But for now we'll go back and kind of touch on that, as well as talking about these specific decals, because these ones are kind of tricky and you might have to do some extra work to get the perfect result if that's what you want. First of all, to kind of show everybody what we're looking at, we're supposed to put these decals on to the fin funnels, and here's my fin funnel, just like this, right? This folds, yay, fin funnel. Okay, now I want to talk about like preparing to work. Instead of actually putting the decals on, we're going to talk about like how to prepare for it. Now, if you've completed your Gundam and you want to put the decals on, you're going to have like this is one big section, and you're going to be working here, but then you'll have to flip it around and kind of work here as well, and it might not be so easy. I would kind of advise against that. However, if you kind of just take this piece off, which is where all the decals are going, and try to work on it like this, you can see it doesn't sit flat, it will actually move, and that's a problem. So you don't want this to be able to move when you're putting decals on. You want this to be as secure as possible. But you also might not want to have to like spin things around. You might want to kind of take them apart, which is what I'll show you how to do now, because I've already taken mine apart, like so. So it's a little bit different from the new Gundam Ver.Ka construction, but it's a lot easier to take apart, I found. Like if I bend this, I can actually stick my finger in here and kind of pull it up just a little bit, like so. You can see it's kind of open here. And if I bend this down, I just do the same thing from the other side, and then I can pop it off. Put that aside. You can see I've got them all there. Now when it comes to actually popping them out, you have to be careful if you kind of pull these on because of how pull these off because of how they attach. You could end up breaking one of these middle pieces. So I found you have to kind of bend it a little bit and then pull it so it pops out. Now I don't want to break it on camera, which is why I'm being so careful, but I've done it so far with all the other ones without a problem. There you go. Put this here, and the same on this side. Just bend it to get the proper angle, and then kind of pull it out. And you're left with these two. Now I'll put this one back together because I'm not going to put the decal on like this. Easy enough to take these apart, but it's this part that's tricky. So Now before we go to apply any of these decals, you can see I've got them set up here. You know, one, two, there's 3 sections to make just one fin funnel. What you need to do is make sure that you do not have any nubs, no gate marks on here, because they're in the perfect position to kind of interfere with your decal work. So first thing I want to do is make sure that all of my nubs are off. I'll start with the easy one. It's easy enough to kind of get this off here, but make sure you run your finger down here, because there's a couple here that might not be so viewable, but you run your finger down there and you'll realize, oh, like there's a marker there, and chances are that's right where that decal has to be, and it's true. You'll see in a second when I show you a close-up of the one I've already done. Okay, now I'll flip it over, and this one seems kind of smooth, but I know there's one hidden in here down this way. Yeah, okay. Got that done, and yes, here they are, down towards the end. These will interfere. Don't be too aggressive. I kind of run my knife kind of flush with this angle, and then I can get this extra little bit here. Same with this side. Try not to take too much off, because you'll end up with a gouge in there, which will look a little bit unsightly. However, if it can't be helped, it's probably better to take a little bit more off than a little bit less. That way the decal will at least kind of appear smoother. Now I will put that over here. Now I've got everything ready. Not so, like, I'm not ready to go right now. I'm kind of explaining what I'm doing here, but I do have my tools that I need. I do have what I use, cotton tips, to move decals around and also push them in place to absorb water, but these are very large decals, so this is not sufficient, which is why I'm going to also be using the tissue. I've got my tweezers, here we go, and I've got the mark setter, which is very important in these kind of decals that are kind of going over curved surfaces. And let's talk about the actual surface of that right now, because when you're doing decals, usually the surface is flat. You put a decal on there, you push it down, it's good. However, these ones, and you can see by the shape they have, they're quite large, and they're meant to kind of go around these edges. And you can see this is my little experiment piece here compared to this. There is a rather sharp edge right here and a rather sharp edge right here, and these decals being very large and very thin, you'll end up perhaps having a little bit of problem if you're not careful. And what I mean by that is, anytime you try to move that decal, there is resistance from the friction of the surface of the plastic, and also any kind of edge. So if I have my decal on and I'm trying to move it from this side, it's going to catch on this corner and catch on this corner, and you have like twice as much resistance to movement, and it could be that you start tearing your decal. And I actually ran into that with one of these experimental ones here. So when you are trying to position it, I'll show it when I'm doing close-ups, you want to kind of work on the top here as much as you can and position it, say, here and here, and then work on trying to get these sides on. But there are ways around that as well. You can just add extra water and try to make the surface a little more slippery to move it around again. We'll be talking about that when I get very, very close here. So one last thing I want to talk about is strategy for this. Now, as I mentioned before, there's 3 decals, 1, 2, 3, and it's easy enough. Like the end one, it's not easy actually. This is rather difficult. I'll talk about this in a sec. But it goes on by itself. So once you have it in the position you want, it's just a matter of making sure it stays. However, when it comes to these 2, you have to put both on, and you have to put them on in such a way that they look like one decal. And that gets a little tricky, because you have the part that goes around here, which is really difficult to position perfectly, and you have this part that goes on here. Kind of fills just this little blank space here. And the question becomes, like, which one do you do first? Now, my approach is to, I kind of refer to it, it's probably incorrect, but I think of it as like a negative and positive space kind of thing. Like when it comes to the edges that have to line up, which has more and which has less. Now, obviously, I only have to line up like 1, 2, 3 edges when I move the small one, and the length is quite a bit shorter than this one, where I'm lining up this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and also in here you have like a half rectangle. So this requires the most work to get in position. So I am thinking that, you know, there's a biggest chance of error when doing this, and if I put it on incorrectly and then come on with this one, I can never kind of fix it because I'll never be able to move this big one again. So my strategy is to do the small ones first. I'll do the small ones first. I'll get them as close to perfect as possible. I'll let them dry. I'll put on mark setter, and then I'll come back for the next round, which is adding this one. So you can see I've gone ahead and I've already put one on here, and today on the show I'm going to be putting one of these in here, but there's some work I need to do to the decals before I can even start that. So let me get prepared here, and we'll get even closer, and we'll talk about just how to do this. Okay, I'm kind of set up here. We got the camera closer anyway to try and show you as much as we can, but if we get too close, well, it gets all blurry and then you can't see anything. One thing I want to talk about is these decals. I've got them all cut out kind of here. It's really difficult to see, but around this purple there's a little transparent edge, like the edge of the decal. It actually is a little bit wider than the place that you're putting the decal onto, this angle here. So you're going to end up with some parts that stick out. Well, that's where the mark softer comes in. We'll talk about that, and this is very, very important for the kind of decal work that we're doing right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a decal. We'll get started here. I went down to the lunchroom and grabbed a big bowl, ramen bowl, I don't know, with hot water in it. So let's hope I can do it correctly here, get my angle right. I tend to work at just kind of one angle here. Now, what I like to do is kind of just hold it here as I pull the paper off, and I can adjust it after. Now, I normally use a Q-tip, as you can see, to kind of position decals, and that's what I'm doing right now. And it's okay for this decal right here because it's like kind of flat. It's not going around the angle. But like I talked about before, if I was going over these curves and I was using this to apply direct pressure on this pointed area, it might start tearing the decal at the end of the Q-tips, or at the end of the toothpicks. So I can also use a Q-tip in this case, but the Q-tip, when you do use it like this, absorbs water, and as you're absorbing water, that decal starts to set. So you kind of got to find a balance here. If it's starting to set and I don't like where it is, well then I can dip my Q-tip in the hot water and get this surface area wet again. But for now, I just need to make sure that it is on where I want it to be. Try to match up all the angles. I mean, you might never ever get it perfect, but you can get it pretty close. So just dab off the extra water there. I don't want to take off, I don't want to push too firmly with my tissue, because you can't see through the tissue and the decal will often move as you're pushing it on there. Now, it's kind of where I want it to go. Start dabbing the edges and sucking some of that water out. You can also kind of smooth it like this, but it could also move. So keep that in mind as well. The removing water part is actually one of the more difficult parts when it comes to decals, and often cases I will just kind of, once I know it's in the position I want it to be, let that water evaporate by itself, so I can like put this over here for now and grab another one, because you know I've got this whole chain of decals dropping into this hot water here. Let me get another one. Still hot, this water. Dipped my finger in, that was a mistake. Grab an edge, turn it around, pull this off. I'm right-handed, so I'll spin it around. Use my right hand for everything, giggity. Oh, look at that. That one's almost perfect to start. Sometimes I'll pull it back just so I can get an idea where that edge is again. I've got to admit, with the light we're using right now for filming, it kind of disguises the edge on me a little bit. So I don't want to kind of have it too far up. But I can look from an angle and I can see, oh, I've got that correct. That one probably moved. Yes, it did. I'm working away from myself here because I'm trying to keep this in front of the camera. This is painstaking work. Some people don't like to spend this kind of time with decals. I can completely understand that. You shouldn't have to if you don't want to, but to get the best result, I mean, you're going to really have to work for it. Bandai's making you work for it on the Ver.Ka kits, and this might be the hardest one to decal that they've made, just with these angled fin funnels. Everything else seems okay, but these fin funnels, they are definitely tricky. So. Oh, there's a sin right there. Okay. I'll do this in multiple times here so you can kind of just get the idea of the pace I work at. Already that looks like it's the right spot. I don't want to touch it too much, but I'm a perfectionist, so I will no doubt touch it too much. Like that. I blame working in front of a camera. I'm all nervous. Okay, almost finished here. Almost finished here. Wish I could take out more of the water, but I don't want to risk moving that decal too much. With this extra like edge on transparent edge that's unnecessary, it's really difficult sometimes just to see if you're right on the right 100% correct alignment kind of thing. But I'll do one more and I'll stop. Move on to the next part, which is even more difficult. I'm using really hot water now, so the glue is kind of drying, drying quickly, and it will set pretty quickly. So if I want to make sure I get it in the right position before that happens. Get that piece of dust out of there. You guys see how I'm doing here? I haven't moved it off the camera, off the shot yet. Maybe that is okay. Hold on. That's better. Okay, I'll leave these because I will have to use the mark setter, but I can't use it until these things are kind of dry. That water has evaporated. So this one I've already used the mark setter on. It worked pretty well. I'm going to move it off to the side here. And we're going to talk about the next decal that I want to do. Actually, I need this. But we'll do this tricky one here. Now, this one has a unique shape to it. You can see, hopefully you can see that, it's got these kind of edges here. Similar to, the foil stickers and whatnot we see with HG kits. I mean, this is meant to go around an edge, kind of cover an end. And it's actually this end where we're supposed to cover right here. So this is going to go here and then bend down. And then these little corners here and here are tiny, but they're going to bend around. Now, when I did mine, it looks like so. It looks okay, but what I ended up doing was putting the large part down first, and then with the mark setter kind of bending these smaller edges around it. And it looks fine after the mark setter does its job, but if you look closely, you can kind of still see it. Ideally, what you would want to do is, once you have this in position, is kind of bend the smaller corners around and then bend this one down. But because the small corners are really difficult to kind of work like that, you might not be able to do it. But one thing that kind of interferes with moving these things in is that very thin, transparent edge that kind of goes around the entire decal, that outline. And what I'm thinking is necessary is to actually take my design knife And if you get close enough, you can see it. Like I will try to explain it to you guys, but you can see the purple has a very sharp angle, right? It's almost like just a very sharp corner. How many degrees is that? It's not 90 degrees. It's even more than that. But you know, you look at that and it looks like, oh, it should bend properly, right? Well, if you look close enough and you can't see it, so I'm going to describe it to you. The thin outline of that doesn't have the same shape as the purple. It actually kind of tucks in here, almost like a circle. And that's what interferes with me trying to bend this angle over. So what I want to do with my design knife is I want to try and remove, if I can, as much of that clear, transparent outline as possible. Now I don't have to cut this entire thing away. I can just make enough of a cut that the decal film is cut. And it's not easy, but it might make the actual application of the decal easier. So wish me luck here. As this hooks around the edge, if I do make a little bit of mistake with the cut, it shouldn't hurt too much when it comes to the final look of what you're doing. So I will drop this in the water and allow it to get wet. And I'll actually cut a couple more that I've got prepared here. So if you can see what you can see. Sorry guys, we can't change the angle too much, or the focus on the camera kind of goes off. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to accomplish here. And I'll mention that when we do the last decal, which is, well, the decal I do last. I think it's like number 2, but I'm going to do it last. You might have to make some cuts in there too, because there's a lot of decal film, a lot of that transparent outline going off at a lot of different angles and taking up, well, that was perfect, a lot of space. Like so. Much better, much better. Although it might be a little kind of awkward to move that decal around after. So, allow me to get ready here. I have 1, I have 2. I prepared 3 decals. I've got 3 of these. I should be good for now. And I get mighty nervous because we're getting into the tough stuff, and I have to do it properly because I'm like a professional or something here. People watch me do stuff. Okay, I've got the decal. Like so. And again, I'm going to try and just kind of hold it in place while I pull the film away. If I can get this close to the edge, it'll help, right? Here we go. Now this also bends around. You can see it just went and kind of already slipped around there thanks to the water and the glue. Now, if I think of lining up this edge, I might have a better shot here. I lined up that edge. This edge looks good. Actually, this looks looking good. Maybe a little more on this side. Like I said, if I try to pull it down this way, it might be difficult because I have resistance here and resistance here. I might want to try and just move it a bit up top and then see how it goes. I'm satisfied with the placement of this decal. For now, I will remove some of the water at the top and think of pushing this down. Now this one, you should have gone down first, bro. But definitely this is much easier now than the previous one because I've cut that edge off, right? And it's even looking smooth here. Now, this needs to dry, definitely, because the mark setter is going to have to do a lot of work here. But right now, just how it went on, like on the first step before kind of getting in there and adjusting it, actually worked out pretty good. But I see an air bubble or something, so there will be air bubbles under there. You can kind of stroke to pull them out. I did it, you can do it this way, but you risk moving that decal that way. I had my hand kind of holding the edge of the decal and I went down, so my strokes are a lot shorter and you don't risk pulling it as much. I'll have to do it on this side too. Kind of push any air out of there. Oops, and I wasn't paying attention. And I just caught the edge of the decal on that one. No harm done. Yeah, it still looks good. Yeah, I'm still happy with how it's looking. but we'll definitely have to come back with the mark setter. So let's kind of do that again. Like the trick isn't putting on one decal, the trick is putting on the same decal, 12 times and getting the same result. Like that's really what tests your patience and in some way your skill. I mean, people who have built master grades before but don't have experience with water slides, this might seem like a huge daunting task. But once you kind of, that was a bad spot. Once you do it a few times, and you're definitely doing it a few times in this kit, you will find that you're okay. This actually bent the wrong way on me. That's better. Okay. Okay. Not quite okay. I don't like that. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist with water slide decals, I have to admit. I have been known to spend more time doing decals than actual building. That's better. That's better. There's that edge. Don't do this at home, kids. I'm totally messing around trying to get this edge, but I got it. Okay. Line it up as best you can. Remember, trying to start here. Look at that corner kind of thing. Get that edge. That edge looks okay. Maybe not quite centered when I look at it from the top here. Right? Okay, now I'm happy with that position. Let's see if I can take some water away. Definitely have to smooth this out a little bit, and that's where my trusty Q-tip comes in. It can help me smooth. Go lightly though. And once this kind of sets a little bit and I get the mark softer on there, the mark softer, you can do these strokes and it will smooth this out for you. Mark softer is your best friend. I know a lot of people don't have access to the same kind of stuff that we do here. Why is that so wrong? That's better. That's some people do not have the same access to the materials that we do here in Japan, of course. That's best. But do your best to kind of, find this if you can. And see how that tucked in there so simply? Because I cut that corner, like that worked out really well. So let's move on to another one. Third time's a charm. We'll do this one more time so you guys can kind of get an idea of my flow here. And then we'll move on to the biggest and trickiest one yet. So I see what happens. It folds over on itself like with this last one I did, or sorry, the one I did previously, and the decal pulled over on itself. It does that because just the decal, the bowl I'm using for the decal tray, has a sharp angle, so the decal's actually like kind of sliding off of the sheet and starting to fold on itself. So if you have a proper decal tray or a shallow bowl, you're not going to experience that same issue that I had. Yes, we do have decal trays here at HobbyLink Japan, but I wasn't going to go in the warehouse and open one up when somebody out there might need one and want to buy one. So okay, I do like this position. Looks good here, looks good here. I will try to remove some of this water. Just a little bit there. Smooth it out just a little bit. Smooth it out. Like so. And that one actually moved, so it will move, guys. Don't worry if it does, it will move. It's nice and smooth at the top though, right? So I should try to just push this over. Ah, my thumb. My finger. I had it in a nice, perfect position that I was very satisfied with. Proud of myself here on camera. It looks pretty good, and then I move it, so don't be dumb. Don't do a SID. Don't do a SID. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Okay, now let's talk about this one. This is very big. I got two left I can work on, and actually this one as well. I will work with these after, because I want to kind of show you how I put it around here now. When I was putting this on with the Mark Softer, I was pushing the Mark Softer, like swiping with this angle, brushing at this angle, which bent this extra transparent outline down here. So it should not be in the way when I go to put this on. And I'm kind of doing the exact same thing. Now, speaking of transparent outline, this one has it, and right in here you really see it. Probably not on camera, it's not so easy to see. Here's the one that I did last night. Of course it's blurry, but if you look in here, you can actually see this plastic film. Now, I don't mind that it's there. You can't really see it unless you stare at it. If I want to remove it, I can just kind of gently with my design knife cut along that side and I can remove it. Or I could possibly use more mark setter and try to to push it down to make it softer. But I would probably go with the design knife. But it's so difficult to see unless you stare at it so closely up in front of my face. It's only going to really bother you if you know it's there. And most people, when they see something from far away, like a decal like this, they don't see that outline. It doesn't bother them, so it's okay. But for the sake of consistency, because I've kind of already showed how to do it, I'm going to try and remove it now. There. That should do it. Now I'll stick this in the water, let it warm up. Our water in our work building, the office here it's really hot, so I know that the water I'm using is going to stay hot for a while. I'm not too concerned. There's two. I'm going to do a third one, even though I don't know if I'm going to be bothering to put this on yet, because the decals I just put on already need to stay. Like so. Put these over here. Now this is, I already mentioned I got the Mark Softer on here, so I don't need to worry about this moving. Like, it's on there, it's not going to move. However, if I'm using Mark Softer again, and I will be for the decal that I'm putting on, if I do get Mark Softer on here, on even like a drop of it, and I'm kind of rough, there's a chance I tear that decal. And I learned how great Mark Softer is and how rough it can be. You know, my first shot at water slide decals, when I was trying to use Mark Setter and Mark Softer, and ended up wrecking quite a few of them. But that was way back in the day, and things should be much better now for me. I would hope. So let's pull this decal out. Now I should try and go from this angle. So I pull the decal away, and I pull that decal sheet out from underneath it, and it drops into place. Instead of, if I pull it this way, I can't really see where it's going. So I should try and do it that way. Wish me luck, everybody. Just kind of dig it out here. Hold on, give me a sec. So here's the decal. It's really still, even so, it's really tough to see kind of where I'm working here. So I need to maybe get this right to the edge. Get this right to the edge of the film, and then take it out. Like so. Now I get the fun joy of trying to line it up. Now the decal I put on first, it's not going to go anywhere. It should not go anywhere. So it is my guide. And again, I should move from the top if possible. And already it's starting to adhere because the water was so hot. Let me just kind of close this gap a little bit. Okay. Holy expletive, Batman. It's really difficult to see kind of the seam here because of how well positioned that first decal is. If I did a bad job positioning that first decal, this seam would be really, really apparent. And as I try to perfect it, I open it up a little bit. So I gotta make sure it's good. This is actually turning out all right. Yeah, no seam. Of course, this is kind of falling down, but that's that transparent edge I talk about, right? Like it should be falling over it now. Gotta make sure I'm not pulling it too much. Yeah, that's the very edge. Opening and closing it just to try and get it right to the line. Like so. You can also line it up at the very bottom here. But if there's a gap here, I would suggest not lining it up here, but put priority here. Like if I line this up perfectly here, I can see a little crack opening here. Sorry guys, let me get this in an angle. There's a little kind of crack opening at the top there. You can see this white line. I don't like that. I don't want that. So I will pull it back this way until that gap closes. And it's really difficult to see that kind of, it's missing this edge on that side. Like I'm not worried about that. It's this part that's going to kind of make or break if you've done this properly. So it looks good to me. Let me see if I can remove some of this water here. Okay. 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 And I moved just a tiny bit. I don't like it. Close this up. Okay. This looks good to me. This looks good to me. Now I have to let it dry, and that's unfortunately, you know, when you're working with, what I found out when I was 12 years old working with models and at that time didn't like them, was that you can't do it all at once. Like I wanted to build it all, like cement it all, put it all together and do all the markings and everything all in one day, and it all just fell apart in my hands because I lacked the patience because I'm a child. But now that I know how it works, like I know if I want the best result, sometimes the best course of action is to just wait, and that's what I'm going to do. I have to wait for these things the water to evaporate enough that I can get in there with the mark setter, the mark softer. I'll do one now just kind of for you guys to see as this starts to dry. Actually, I tell you what, I'm going to turn off the camera and I'm going to come back to this and we'll do the whole mark softer stuff and show you guys how to do all of them. So I'm just going to turn this off right now. Okay, now it's time for some mark softer. Now, some people use this pretty liberally, and I use it on a lot of my projects, but I don't use so excessively, so to speak. So this is one I just opened up. So when I pull this out, it's like going to be dripping this stuff. I try to rub the brush against the inside of the bottle as much as I can because I want to get any excess off. I want to reduce the amount that's actually going to be applied to the decal. So it's difficult when you just open it. Anyway, here it is. Here's what I got so far. I'm going to brush it all in one direction, that's all. But when I want to do these angles, I'm going to brush down. Like I want to kind of bend these over. And I should be doing every angle. I want these to bend over and adhere to the surface, of course, because then it makes the application of the next decal that much easier. So hold on, let me put some here. Really put it on here to get that to go over there. And then here as well. Be very careful, like it's very strong. If you are too rough or you drop a piece, this isn't the right spot, but I'm just going to keep going. You drop a piece, you end up kind of putting too much pressure on this now very vulnerable decal. You could do some damage that you'll not be able to fix. So just be very careful when you're using this stuff, alright? Here we go. Bend that down. Get that bent on there. Move that. Okay, now I've got these ones here that I've already done. This one, because I've got this bend here, I really want to apply it to kind of get these corners to bend over, right? It might be a little rough, or resistant anyway, like you might not be able to get them immediately, but as that decal starts to soften the decal, they will start to kind of go where you want them to, but just go slow. Don't be too rough. Come on, you get in there. Yeah, that's what I want. You guys all get in there. These ones turned out really well. I am pleased. This one might be the best one. Mostly because I cut away that transparent outline that you don't really see but can get in the way when you're doing this kind of work. So there you go. Now this one's it's pretty close to being dry here. I have to be careful because this has already had the marks that are applied, but I'll apply marks that are to the rest. I'm going up towards where I want the decal to go. Like if I pull it back and that seam opens up again, it's going to be really hard to fix. So I'm brushing towards that direction where the seam needs to stay closed, and I'm going to have to try and get the edges to go over there. Keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to just stop for now. I'm going to call it done. I've got, of course, a lot of work to do to get all 6 of these fin funnels, or 12 of these fin funnels all done. But for now, that's a good start. I hope everybody can learn from what we showed here. Don't be so daunted by these water slide decals on this kit. If you don't know if you can do it, you don't have that confidence, just start water slide decaling other kits. Get your pattern developed, like the way you work, and then when it comes to doing the more difficult stuff, you'll at least be comfortable in how you work, and you'll be able to focus your attention on the decal specifically. So good luck to everybody. Can't wait to see your completed high new version Ka. All right, there you go. So that's how I would tackle the
and that's pretty advanced
water slide decals.
Like
Yeah,
you need some experience.
You have to be careful, but once you kind of get them on there, like take your time, be thorough, and get them on there, they do look really cool.
Yeah, no,
that's a really cool effect. So,
and it's also a great tutorial for anyone who wants to do water slides.
Yeah, I mean we have done water slide decal tutorial, like I mentioned, but that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
My pink plane, which had like 4 layers of insanity.
That was a long time ago, ne?
So for all the new viewers,
that's right. If you're new to Gunpla TV,
time to get skilled.
That's right.
Anyway, Sid, questions?
Level up. Yes, you have some questions and comments.
I have some questions.
Oh, can I say something first? I've contacted pretty much everybody. Last week we announced you're going to win a flyer, and most of them have gotten back to me with their name and mailing addresses, and I will be sending them out.
Accurate addresses, I hope.
I'll be sending them out within the next few days. Although Monday is a national holiday here, so I don't know if they'll be leaving Japan at that time, but I'm hoping to get them out around then.
Okay.
So just be patient.
Calm down.
That's right.
Take a cool shower. Okay. Kentrel.
Okay.
How to start a great day. Wake up, make tea, sit down on the PC and see a new episode of Gunpla TV. After a long break, but a while since I really wanted a prize kit, but with the age to D bullet. Gimme. I'm pretty sure if Bandai decides to make a PG Shenanju, they would run out of plastic.
Well, I don't think we're short on plastic these days. Well, it might be getting more expensive with the fossil fuel import fees and everything else. Yeah, great way to start the day. Like I always forget about the time difference because we put up these episodes later in the afternoon.
Yeah,
usually.
it's like.
But for some people, first thing in the morning, get on there and watch it. Start your day with Sid and Ryan. Good morning, America.
Yeah, we need to do a morning show.
That's right. Today's special guest. He's appearing in this film. No, let's not do that.
Okay, QDS.
Yeah.
Even though it just started, do you think there will be a master grade version of the Burning Gundam?
I do think there will be. It's a main suit. It's like the first HG they released from Buildfire's Try, I believe. And You know, if you look at like the 3 kits they released from the previous Build Fighters
It's a nice kit. Actually,
series last year.
no spoilers.
We got
but
3
maybe,
in like a month.
Maybe next week, we'll take a look.
Well, we'll look at the HG at some
Yeah.
point. It's really cool. So I want to bring it on the show.
Yeah.
But today, with these being so in depth and quite longer than I thought they would be to show, we'll skip the Burning Gundam when I can show that in more detail.
Weatherby. I've never wanted to give someone my full mailing address more in my life.
I like that comment. I
That
can
is
appreciate
pretty
that
sweet.
sentiment.
But these are not winners yet.
No, these are
just-
winners.
these
Sorry,
are just-
Weatherby. If you won, I'd be really grateful how you
Yeah.
feel about giving me your full address. But I really need a few more of you.
If only
amongst the
more
prize
girls said
winners.
that.
Yeah, but it would be phone number. Substitute phone number for address
Yeah, I don't want any mailing address.
or line ID or whatever it would be.
Mini Mad. Hey Sid and Ryan, have you guys seen the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer?
Mhm.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, Ryan, why don't you go first? You're a movie guy. You're
Well,
a
yes.
comic
I
guy.
mean, I was a fan of the original Avengers.
Mhm.
But I must admit, I'm getting a bit tired of all these
What's
action
that?
hero movies.
Really? What? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you that. Like, I'm a bit meh. Even that Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, this is like Star Wars, but not Star Wars. But anyway, let's talk about the trailer.
Well, allow me to say that I kind of make a point of steering clear of anything now that comes into the theaters. Anything that comes into the theaters that has like X-Men something and Avengers and Marvel, I try to stay away from it. It's kind of like when I was younger and Titanic came out and every single person I knew said, you have to watch this, it's amazing. And I got so tired of hearing people tell me what to do that I decided to do the opposite.
Yeah,
As Ryan
never
says,
tell Sid what to
I'm
do.
a contrarian.
Never tell Sid what to do.
Yeah, don't do it.
Well, my biggest frustration with the modern like superhero movies is they're nice movies, but like sites are giving them like 8 out of 10. Like these movies are not art.
I know.
They're just popcorn stuff. Like, I'm just concerned that people think like these are high quality. Like, yes, they're visually amazing, but the latest Winter Soldier movie, Captain America, like, yeah, it was good, but
Remember
where's
way
the
back.
soul?
Remember way back when,
Hollywood?
Ryan, when special effects were still difficult to pull off in many ways, and so you had to focus more on story than on visual. And then George Lucas released Phantom Menace, and even before then, of course. But it became so much about visual that the story and acting took a back seat, and pretty soon it's just so terrible to try to sit through some of the stuff. Although it's visually pretty.
Yeah, well, I miss the heart. Like, Back to the Future, it had a heart. And even though these films are amazingly produced by highly talented people, I just don't know where the heart is anymore. So, I mean, the Ultron trailer was cool, but yeah, it's another action movie. That's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Well, once you get to like X-Men 25.
Well, I mean, I read that Marvel has, Disney has like films up till 2030.
Well, I also
Like,
read
planned
somewhere
out.
that they have the rights and they have to continue producing content,
Yeah,
otherwise they
well,
lose the rights.
Well, it's
So-
like the Spider-Man
Exactly,
reboot
Spider-Man's.
after 5 years. Like,
Yeah, we watched Spider-Man, and 5 years later we watched the same movie.
I do think the X-Men movies, the later ones, are better than most of the Marvel stuff. That's my opinion. Should we go to the next guy?
Yes, please.
Dr. John Gon. Hey Ryan and Sid, you two are awesome, and this episode has sold me on getting the MG Sazabi and the PG Unicorn.
Oh, nice.
If one thing I can say is that the building model kits has helped me get past hard times. Money is tight now because of my mother being sick and myself being in medical school to become a doctor, but whatever I can do to help her, I'll do it. Whenever she watches me building a kit, she gets overjoyed because I'm doing nothing bad to ruin my life. Heck, she was building a kit with me. That's how much model kits have brought us closer. But it was a drag on
On the wallet?
On the wallet? I don't know. I can't wait for the next episode. Maybe I'll win one of those MG kits. Who knows? Thanks guys for everything that you do. That's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice comment. I mean, it's good to see that other people can appreciate what you do when you're doing something like this. Like,
Well, your mom doesn't want to see you taking drugs.
oh yeah, so
kids
just
are
do it when
good.
she's not watching. But, like you always,
We do not condone that at all.
some people will just look at it as like, oh, robots. Like,
Yeah,
aren't you
yeah.
like 5? Are you 5? Aren't you an adult? And then when they realize like the energy and time you put into it, especially when people who customize and paint and try to produce the best model they can within their skill set or whatever, like the amount of attention that you focus on that, I think is indicative of the kind of attention you can focus on other areas of your life, and people should appreciate that.
Yeah. No, it is a skill. I mean, that's what I've always believed. Like, you've actually built something that'll
Yeah.
last for
Hopefully.
forever, hopefully, as long as you're around. Next, Ethan. I was really excited to see Gunpla TV back. I'm also really sad I didn't win a unicorn poster. And I'm really sad that I had to pay $300 to get my alternator replaced. So now I can't afford Gunpla for a while.
Well,
Sorry, mate.
You can walk. Where do you need to drive to?
Yeah, you just need a unicorn, mate. You don't need to drive. Yeah, just walk.
Just walk.
It's good. Good for you.
That's right.
Scuzzy Summer. Nice Sazabi Sid.
Thanks.
The bugger can be really wobbly though, especially if you add some third-party dual Gatling guns to it. The Kai kits are awesome looking centerpieces.
Mm-hmm.
After the inevitable question is, Ryan, what book did you read while isolated from the interwebs?
Yeah, you said you read a book or something?
Yeah, it's called Wallander. It's a detective series by a Swedish author.
Okay.
And I also read the latest Sherlock Holmes novel, which was actually published last year.
Okay.
By some other authors. So a lot of detective stuff.
You like
Light
that,
and breezy.
You like that crime stuff?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Big Rich. Roses are red, violets are blue. I hope I win something. Rhyming is hard.
I like that one.
Sorry guys, you didn't win. We just like them.
That's right.
Sorry.
It made me laugh, so we thought we'd share.
Yeah.
That's my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so like I said last week, we have 2 kits to give away this time around. But they're MGs, so people should be really excited. We got the Dark Hound. Remember, he's in pieces. You got to put them together and transform whatever else. We had 307 comments.
And we need a drum roll.
Cue up that sound. Push a button on the sound machine.
We need a soundboard.
The first one to win this it was comment number 228. 228, and it actually made surprised me because I think I also drew his name for a unicorn poster to the random number whatever's. So Classic
You're
Gundam.
a lucky man.
Classic Gundam. It's your lucky week. Week. Bye week. I don't know, but
get a lotto ticket.
That's right. And split the winnings with me.
Yeah.
So Classic Gundam. He writes, "Can't wait for the end of November. Show me that PG." And yes, in less than a month's time. No, November, the Gunpla Expo.
Oh yes,
We're going to be there with iPhones and iPads and
technology,
high def cameras.
Twitter,
and
Facebook,
showing as much of that as we can. Hopefully, we can get. I don't know who the lead developer is. Probably Kishiyama-san will have something to say about that. Maybe we can get him to say a few things.
He'd be like,
he'd be like, yes, I know. You guys again. They start to recognize us now because of the shirts. We've been doing all these shows for like 3 years. People start to recognize us. They're not so friendly still, but they kind of recognize us.
They give us the eye.
That's right. Like, no,
you guys.
Okay, so H2 double bullet. This guy also is in pieces inside this box, so we'll
the big
let
boy.
him be.
I'll try not to shake it too much. Sorry,
it's plastic. It's okay.
Pretty shaky today.
So this was comment number 262, and it goes to ZGMF-X28. Do you know what that is, Ryan?
The kit.
I think that is the model designation for the Strike Freedom.
Oh.
And exactly. If you don't know Gundam, you might not know that. So he says, "You guys need to put out episodes faster." No. We work as hard as we can.
Yeah, we do.
And,
I think you should be happy. 159 episodes.
Plus
we're
the specials.
Solid. Yeah.
We've been pretty good at nailing every week, but when we have like holidays or we're just too busy to get in front of the camera, we do miss one now and then.
We do have rounded jobs that take up other parts of our day.
Yeah, I'm actually skipping that right now. Exactly. Yeah. I prefer this. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Okay, so I'll be contacting these 2 guys. I'll be sending you a mail.
Well done.
And you'll be winning MGs. And I got 2 more MGs to give away.
Ooh, let's have a look.
Don't open these up too because they're in parts as well.
Ooh, we got a Zaku.
We got a Zaku 2.0. That's the Chars. And we got a Goof 2.0. Now, here's the thing with these 2. I'm giving both to the same person.
Oh.
Yes, because they're not quite complete. Now,
when you say they're not complete, they don't have all the pieces?
Oh, they're missing some parts. Let me explain. I'm getting to that. So when the Marasai came out, I wanted to mod it, and I turned it into Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Cool. So I used the Marasai frame for the most part, but I used shoulders from the Goof and some parts from the legs from the Char Zaku, and then modified the head as well with some the fin and whatever else. But that meant that I had 2 almost complete kits here with nothing to do with no purpose. So I'm going to give both to one person, and they can do their own kit bash or mix and match or whatever they want to do, and they'll have it, at least one full complete
Goof
kit.
meets Zaku.
That's right. Zoof. We call it Zoof. Gaku. The
Don't
Zoof
remind
Gaku.
people about kit bashes.
Found that box when I was moving. Oh, I'm stupid.
What was the name again?
Mallard.
Mallard, yeah.
Damn it. Oh,
I'm
okay.
not alone and not completing stuff. I'm vindicated. Sorry.
You had one job, Ryan.
4 actually.
So that's it for this episode.
Oh yeah,
And on that note,
just a reminder, we have a HobbyLink TV, a YouTube channel, a Facebook page. Please friend us, like us, send us any questions. We do our best to get back to you, but sorry, we don't always.
Yep.
We all work for HobbyLink Japan, hlj.com. Support us.
Yeah.
They're
the ones that allow us to do what we do.
Yeah. Keep us sitting in these seats, wearing these amazing shirts.
Actually, I want a new shirt.
Me too.
Help me. Crowdsource. This is the last episode for October, as you know. It's Halloween tomorrow. But November, we do
Halloween.
know that we have the MG Blue Frame D coming. As well as I think we see more Build Fighters kits and Reconquisting G and all those ones. So we're going to be showing all those leading up to the Gunpla Expo on the 21st. And then after that, I think it's going to be PG Unicorn focused and for 2 weeks straight until that baby comes out. So I am. Lots of good stuff to see.
Yep.
Keep watching. We'll see you later.
See you guys.